All right, guys, this is Welcome to the Team, and I am your host, Christine Berencz. Just to get to know about me a little bit, I am a wife. I have 3 little people, and I have 1 big chocolate lab. She might bark in the distance. That's how remote work from home is. I personally live in Pennsylvania. I live near Hershey, so if you guys have ever been to Hershey Park or heard of Hershey chocolate, that's kind of where I live. I've always been a wanderer. My father traveled a lot for work. And so therefore he used to bring little trinkets home to us. And I always wanted to explore different places. So now that I have 3 kids, that was something that I always wanted to do. So, we moved during the pandemic and I was in search of remote work. I found this opportunity and I thought, what a perfect way to really get back into traveling and kind of know what was going on after everything had shut down for 2 years. Like, where could you go? What could you do? And so that's what, brought me to this business. I have a hospitality background. So I've always done restaurants, catering since I was 16 years old. I eventually moved into event coordination and weddings, and that was always my passion. And then again, with the pandemic, when everything changed, this kind of was a great segue into still planning events or planning trips that were especially, like a long sail, really developing what the clients wanted, getting that booked, facilitating them, and then they go on their trip. And then you still follow up and use them as referrals. So that is my story. And then I am an IATAN card holder, which is one of your first goals when you get into this business. You get the IATAN card once you have been paid out a minimum of $5,000 commission within a 12-month period. And we can talk a little bit more about that. But that is basically your first goal. And then I am a gold consultant, which means that I mentor others. So when I got into this business, I knew once I had it figured out after about a week or 2 and I fell in love with it, I knew I could teach others how to do this too. And it really made it easier for me to learn. So when I would learn, I would say, I know I have to teach someone else. So I'd take better notes and then I'd be able to relay that information. I'd get really excited about things I'd find out. So I love mentoring others and teaching others how to be successful in this business. So getting into this business, again, it's remote work. So who are the owners of the company? Where are the resources? Who are the people who've been in the business for years you can rely on for information or where to go to when you have questions? So on the left, we have Ron Archer. He is the owner and CEO of Archer Travel. He is the son of Cliff and Lola Archer. When you went to the initial webinar to learn about our company, you probably heard a little tidbit of how they got started 71 years ago. But I actually have one of the videos that you can watch so you kind of really get the idea of the story behind how Archer Travel started and where they are today. On the right, we have David McCovey. He is the founder of Evolution Travel, and he brought the concept of a home-based business to Archer Travel so that we could now become independent contractors under Archer Travel as a host agency. So taking all of that 70 plus years of knowledge, all of those connections, all of those resources that they have, and give it to so many independent agents so that we can all have the opportunity to learn from Archer Travel and their experience. This picture is just a shameless plug. If there are any time that there are in-person events, you want to get out there. You want to feel these people. You want to see them. You want to meet them. You want to thank them for all of the things that they do for us. So on the left, this was the gala from convention when I got to meet David McCovey. I got to ask him what his favorite books are, what he was reading right now. We got to talk about business, right? And in the middle was when I got to meet Ron Archer. This is at the travel trade show. So you can see behind, you can see some of our vendors. When they come, they bring collateral, like brochures. You can pick their brains, ask them a little bit about it. They give you swag, and they do a live presentation at our convention too. So you can learn all about their products like Carnival, sandals, Disney, all of that. On the right is actually when Carnival Cruise Line last year was celebrating their 50th birthday, and they were traveling along the East Coast with some of the BDMs, some of the sales managers, and also some of the cruise directors too. So it was a really fun time. They gave away tons of fun Carnival stuff. You got to sign the tour bus with your agency, your name. They had food trucks, cake pops. They were giving away free cruises. It was a really great time. It's all free. All these things are included. Now, the left picture was convention. So that is something that is a 5-day event this coming year. Not free, I apologize. That is a ticket price. And you can find more about that on your travel cafe and your Evolution back office. But always good to get out there and meet everybody in person. Okay, that was enough chit-chatting. So now I'm just going to go ahead and play these videos here for you so you can learn more about the companies. And you can find these on YouTube. Just search archertravel.com, or it's on their main website, and it's also on YouTube.
I'm Lola Archer. My husband and I started Archer Travel Service. We began our business in 1952. We started with a Greyhound bus depot on the corner of Colorado Street and Brand Boulevard right here in Glendale. Then we started doing Greyhound bus tours, and we just sort of grew like Topsy.
We've done everything from the Alaska Pipeline for British Petroleum to the White Tigers for Siegfried and Roy to being in network marketing. A lot of brick and mortar historical agencies would not adopt a network marketing customer platform. And for us, that has really been a significant game changer.
Archer Travel has survived the changes in the industry due to the creativity of where to get business, how to make money, as the industry changes.
I am Ron Archer. I am the president of Archer Travel. I am also the youngest of 4 children for Cliff and Lola Archer. I started working at Archer Travel in 1979.
Ron was not interested too much in the business while he was in college.
One Sunday afternoon, my mom and dad were having a picnic at their house, and we're sitting out in the backyard, and Dad said, "It's easy, son. Just go to different companies and get them to buy their airline tickets from us." And I said, "Okay, that can't be too hard." So I went and banged on a lot of doors and talked to a lot of companies, and we were very fortunate. By the late 1980s, we had about 500 corporate accounts, and we were growing exponentially.
The travel industry was growing. We were the first agency that didn't have a stand-up ticket counter. We had desks, and we had chairs in front of the desk where our clients could sit down and talk in a sophisticated manner.
My father would allow me to come up with some harebrained scheme, and instead of shutting me down, he would let me run with it and then learn from the experience.
His creative process sometimes is what gets in everyone's way.
My brother and I clashed a lot. My brother was a very conservative guy. He was an administrator type. He was an accounting person. When Steve retired, I was very concerned because he was always my safety net. I went to Jill, I went to my wife, and I said, "You've always really been supportive of me, but you've always thought of yourself as an administrative person, and I need you now to step up, and I want you to think of yourself as my business partner."
Ron is certainly the most challenging part of my job. Trying to orchestrate everything else in the company and keep him happy at the same time is challenging.
I am a bit of a wild man when it comes to business. I like to try new things. I like challenges. It takes really a strong staff to adapt to the types of things that we do.
I have seen Archer Travel evolve from a very formal atmosphere to a much more casual work atmosphere. The work ethic at Archer Travel is very strong. Everyone that has gone through there as an employee has had that work ethic, and I really enjoy that.
Everybody in the company really has a role and supports the mission of the company. And, you know, like a family, it gets messy from time to time, but without the staff commitment, we would not be anywhere near where we are today.
Archer Travel has evolved in many, many ways. There isn't one thing that can set us apart in our evolution going forward.
We're really a multifaceted agency, but I think you'll find travel is really based on a personal connection. Your customer has to rely on you in order to make sure that their vacation, their business trip, their group trip is going to be enjoyable, it's going to be memorable.
Ron travels around the world to set things up, different offices and an office in another country. And it keeps things very interesting, and again, nothing is ever the same.
I really see huge expansion for Archer Travel. We are continuing to expand with Evolution Travel, which is tremendous. The biggest misconception of the travel industry is that travel agencies are dying. Quite the contrary. The home-based travel agent segment of the industry is actually the fastest growing segment that's out there. And we are seeing that with Evolution Travel.
I am very optimistic about the future of Archer Travel. We have built a very strong foundation.
It's been wonderful. It's provided us with experiences that we would not have had otherwise.
All right. If you guys want to put in the chat, what did you like best about that video? Yeah, they are a small business to start for sure. Just a brick and mortar. Oh, you have the same personality as Ron. Yeah. Ron's personality is what moves everybody forward. But wait till you meet his brother, Mike Archer. He actually does a training right after mine. So in 45 minutes, his training will be on too. So he's all numbers and sales. So Ron sells with his personality and with these big dreams, whereas his brother Mike is very the science of sales. He really understands the science of sales. So he doesn't sell so much with emotion, more the science of it, which is really fun to get both of it, to get the balance of it. Yeah, I love Lola. I think she's celebrating her 96th birthday in about a month. Last year, they celebrated her 95th birthday on a massive cruise. They invited everybody in the company. So the Archer office is in California. So with us being on the East Coast, if you can make it over there and go on their birthday cruise, they open it up to everybody in the company. They're just incredible people. I do find the beginning part really interesting too, where Cliff Archer said, it's easy, son. Just go out to a bunch of businesses and get them to buy their airline tickets from us. That's the way it used to be. These days, it's more tour packages and vacations, simply because airlines decommissioned flights in the 90s. And that's something that you can Google and kind of understand a little bit more about. We don't just ticket flights anymore. That is something that travel agencies used to do. But the problem was a lot of them went out of business when airlines decommissioned flights, whereas other agencies, which is what his wife mentions, were able to pivot into more vacations and vacation packages and tours and things like that, resorts. And that's where there's tons of money still in there. Okay. All right. So let me get on to the next video and then we'll go into a little bit more details.
Hello everyone, Ron Archer here. Last year what we did is we gave you a video about the history and the background of Archer Travel Service. So this year what I thought I would do is give you the history and the background of the relationship that I have with David McCovey and the relationship between Archer Travel Service and Evolution Travel. So here we go.
I am David McCovey, the founder of Evolution Travel. I became an entrepreneur by trial and error, I think, and also watching other people that I believe could have done something differently, and not in a bad way. I was raised by, a single mother who in turn remarried to a stepfather who was extremely hardworking, and I watched them do everything that they wanted to do and take care of me very, very well. But I also knew that there was more to life than to just working for someone else. I got interested in the travel business by recognizing that it was a large industry and that it wasn't offensive to anyone. I believe that if you want to make as much money as possible, then you have to have a market that you have as many people to market to as possible. And with travel, no one's allergic to it. They're not afraid of it. They actually embrace it. So for me, it made more sense to go into travel than to any other industry. It was no accident that we partnered with Archer. I mean, you're talking about 60 plus years of doing what they've been doing at a high level.
I'm Ron Archer, the president of Archer Travel Service. I've been working at Archer Travel since 1979, when my father suggested I come to work for the company. However, I began working for my brothers at the Greyhound bus station that my family owned in 1967. I cleaned bathrooms, I loaded buses, I did whatever nobody else wanted to do. So you could say I kind of got into the travel business early.
I selected Archer Travel for our travel partner based honestly on a vibe. I had a chance to speak with a couple other people in travel space, and they just didn't vibe for me. And I told Tony Ward, who had been going through the process with me, one-star platinum Tony Ward, and I said, sis, find us a travel guy or travel person. And she said, okay, I'm on it. And it wasn't even an hour later that she sent me a video of Ron Archer. I called her and said, this is him, this is our guy. And she says, well, brother, how do you know? You didn't even watch the video yet, I just sent it. I said, I don't have to, I can feel the vibe.
It was very interesting. When David McCovey approached me, he said that he had found me online, and he didn't have any idea of what my background was as far as doing consulting within the network marketing business. I turned David down 3 times.
He kind of stiff-armed me a little bit at first. I could tell that he had heard that pitch before because he was kind of a little ho-hum, and I said, no, we can do something special right here.
I was just unsure because it takes a tremendous amount of time, energy, effort, investment, and I had just gotten out of a relationship with a network marketing company that had gone under. So I wanted to make sure that if I was getting into network marketing again, that it was going to be solid and it was going to be something that was sustainable in the long term.
He came out to Vegas, met with me in my home, and we sat down and we talked, and the vibe was even better in person than it was watching his picture or his video, and I knew he was going to be our guy, and he eventually said yes, and the rest is history. My relationship with Ron Archer is super cool. It's not like a business thing. It's like everything involved in Evolution Archer is like a family thing. He has a lot of wisdom that he helps me with. It's almost like we call him Uncle Ron sometimes, almost like an uncle. Because he has a wealth of experience from doing what we're currently doing, and so it's pretty cool because I get to ask him questions and kind of lean on him on some things that I haven't had the experience of on my own.
David has a strong talent for reaching people and showing them how they can better their lives. And when he says people before profits, he really means it.
I think the reason the Evolution Archer relationship is as strong as it is because of the visionaries on the 2 sides. We all have the same vision. It's totally a family environment, and it's just about being, it's not complicated, it's not political, it's just everyone enjoying themselves and acting as a family and ultimately winning together.
There's no contract agreement between Archer Travel and Evolution. We have a handshake. And my father always said that your handshake was your bond, and you can't break that bond. So although there may have been some disagreements from time to time, that bond has never been tested, and that's why I think that we have such a great commitment to Evolution, because David has a great commitment to us.
Anyone that's looking to have success can be successful in Evolution Archer. The reason for that is because of the culture and the support system that we have. You don't have to have done a thing to be able to be in this thing, because the support for those who have done it before you is there for everyone.
We have been very successful in putting together a wonderful platform that really can make a difference in people's lives. And we're bringing new people to the industry that are selling travel and making commissions and recruiting more people in, and have become a powerhouse within the travel industry.
What I would like the lasting message to be about Evolution Travel is that it's truly, truly a group of people who care. Like at the end of the day, that's it. You're partnered with and you're surrounded by people who truly care. You're not a number, in a downline here at Evolution. You're with people who care about you.
If you'd like more information on how to
All right, guys, what's your favorite part about that video? And I meant to mention, sorry, Natalie, I saw your comment come through. This is the whole reason why I do this training, is because it's good to know about who you're going to be working with, right? It's good to know about the CEOs. You get to meet them often. Like, founder does a call every single month. Ron is on a Zoom call this Wednesday. So make sure you follow through and see right here, 5 p.m. PST. So for Eastern, it's going to be 8 p.m. And then you want to get on this Facebook, Evolution Travel Cafe on Facebook, find it, and there's a QR code, and then you can register for the Zoom so that you have access to it. I think the details are on there too. So you get to talk and meet with the CEOs really often. And like Mike Archer, like I said, is on in about 35 minutes. Lola Archer has come on to his Zooms too. You get to really be in with the CEOs and the owners often in this company, which is awesome. So yes, Mackenzie, it is very family oriented. You start to feel like a family and you start to realize there's tons of people in this business and they all have different like specialties. Like somebody might love cruises, somebody loves Disney, somebody loves Europe, people who live in Hawaii who can help you when you have to book travel. One of the girls just put in the chat, like, does anybody live in Florida? Have a couple asking a question about that. We're all here to help each other. So this screen right here, this is this week's schedule for Archer Travel. So Archer Travel is going to focus more on travel. So stay plugged in. It is more of a Monday to Friday type of schedule. You'll find this schedule on your Travel Cafe. You'll find it also on their Facebook group, and that's where all the trainings are posted. They go They also stream it to YouTube too, recorded there, so you can watch it if you've missed it. So, and then sales training with Mike will be in 35 minutes. All right. Now, when you're on the Evolution back office, you're going to see under the tab that says webinars, this is what it's going to look like. So this is actually being updated. I might actually need a new copy of this because more and more trainings, more trainers are offering to take their trainings and offer it to the entire company. And that's what these are, where these stem from. Okay, so there's a Sunrise Inspiration call here. There's team building every Monday. Every Tuesday, there's a booking travel Q&A. This is the one that I promise you, if you put it on your calendar every single Tuesday, you will learn everything there is to know about the business. This is not one or two people. This is 100, 200 people, everybody asking questions in the chat. They'll stay on for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I'm on there every single week listening in, unless I'm driving. You're going to learn everything right there. Walk through Wednesday. So here they're going to pick like a specific supplier, or they might just walk through like a Disney booking, but that's going to be a very specific walkthrough, but always tons of great things to learn there. Time to Evolve is every Sunday. And that's always a different presenter too. They might choose something to talk about for 30 minutes to kind of get us all ready for the week. Every month there's a founders call. So they'll announce it again in the back office. You'll see it looks just like this, and it'll have the date, time, and Zoom information on it around the beginning of every month. Then we have special needs and disability travel every Monday. There's an understanding series. This is 15 to 30 minutes on Wednesday evenings. You don't have to be to all these, but just know that they happen every single week and they pick a different topic. So if you fall in love with them, you get a lot of value from it. Set it on your schedule every single week and hop onto it. And then again, if you like cruises, Krista goes on and talks about all things cruises, and she's offered that to the entire team. So she used to just offer it to her team. Then she offered it to like the larger organization when she kind of got it rolling. And then she offered it to corporate. Said, you know what, I'm going to offer this to everybody in the entire company if anybody wants to hop on. So we have really great trainings. So make sure to try them all at least once and see if they get value, and then, hop into them weekly. This New Agent Basics, again, I would hop on once. It's like a new agent orientation. Once you've done it once, you pretty much got it down. And then it's on repeat every single week for anybody who comes into the company. Okay, this actually just updated this week. So I took some screenshots simply because I never know if my connection's going to allow me to go live onto it. So when you're in the Travel Cafe, it's got this blue menu bar on the left. This is on a desktop. Looks a little different on a mobile device. But they updated here where it says resources. You're going to see the new agent and the quick start guide. Now, if you're on this training, you probably got the Google Classroom walking you through your first steps. That's the way we were doing it so that we could always keep it updated. So say on Wednesday night, something, we heard something from corporate, we had to update something. We could get in there and update it faster than they could really update the whole website for the whole company. But basically, this is going to be a very general guide right here. So complete the travel training program, download your certificate, right? Personalize your travel agent booking site, which is on your Evolution back office. Download the new agent packet. So this is all brand new. It is a little pared down from the way it used to be. So it used to be 7 or 8 pages. I think they pared it down to 3 or 4. So it's going to be the very basics and kind of guiding you to where you need to go when you need answers. Register for suppliers. It says a supplier, but it just means suppliers. You go to the Travel Cafe, suppliers tab right here. And then in our Google Classroom, we give you like the top 5 most important suppliers just to get you started. But from there, you can register for them as you need them. I wouldn't register for them unless you need them though. Otherwise, it'll be too many logins, too many users. Learn how to get paid. So information on the pay card, watch trainings on that Evolution Travel Cafe. So that's the schedule that I showed you the day prior to. So that's where you watch them. Download an Archer Go app. So now this is something where you can actually book travel on your phone and the commission is tied into it. A majority of our booking portals, say like a Disney booking portal, Carnival booking portal, it's going to be better to be on an actual desktop when you're doing the bookings for your clients. But the Archer Go app, you can actually book a flight, book a car rental, or book a hotel, all individual type things, and commission will be tracked back to you. You just have to fill out the form to make sure that it's completely connected. So it's more basic things, not a full trip, not Disney or anything like that. More basic travel you can book on your phone. Download Zoom. So if you're here, you already have that done. Create business cards and explains how you get to that. Honestly, at this point too, people do a lot of free business cards on your phone where you can kind of like tap it, scan it, QR code. So you can do a lot of that for free too. And we have trainings on how to do that, or you can Google or YouTube free business cards on your phone. And then just getting to a new agent orientation and or a time to evolve within your first 7 days, just so that you're connected to the team. You kind of know that it's more than just your mentor, right? Because sometimes mentors are in this part-time. Sometimes they just like to, help people, but maybe they don't know a lot about cruises. So that's why you have the whole team to learn from everybody and to learn from Archer Travel as well. Announcing yourself. So don't be a silent agent, right? Some people do get in this and they train for 4 or 5 months. They go on their own trips and then they announce to people. You're going to get clients once you let people know this is what you do, right? And don't ever be scared about it. Like once you've signed up and you've done your certification, you could announce it to the world, start getting access to everything because you want people to know, hey, this is what I do. And they reach out to you because you never know what your first trip is going to be. Sometimes it's the most complicated booking. Sometimes it's a really easy one, but just reach out to Archer Travel, your mentor, your team, when you have questions. That's why we have those quote helps almost every single day. And then this is a new one they just added to it, to watch Mike Archer's sales training. So they found it to be so valuable now that they've added it to the quick start guide. Learn how to sell. So I personally don't consider this selling, but I know that it absolutely is selling. I really think a lot of travel sells itself, but I'm here to help guide people and advise people. So I go by travel advisor, travel coordinator. And my favorite thing to do personally is groups because, reunions, groups, it's hard to gather all those people in the same place. So that's my niche. That's what I like to do, is to help bigger groups. And there's a lot of money in that too. So that's kind of why I aim towards that. Okay, so now really, so you learned about Evolution, you learned about Archer, now learning all about who your leadership is and who your team is so that you know where all the gaps get filled in, right? So this is a cool picture from one of our conventions where it was a Founders Council Q&A. So you could ask the Founders Council anything. So the Founders Council is going to be when there is an update, like our commissions are being paid today. Typically they're paid on the 15th. The 15th was a Sunday, so they're paid today. So when communication comes from corporate, they tell to the council, and then the council tells the team. So we're all on different platforms when it comes to conversations. We do emails, Facebook. There's a text messaging system too from the back office. Some people, we're on Discord in this team. Some people are on Telegram, Facebook Messenger, all different ways to just make sure we're trying to get the messages out to everybody along with them being posted on the back office. This picture right here is a majority of travel knowledge team. So there's going to be Sarah Rogers. She is our Founders Council member. She is the admin on our team website. She helps us make the calendar for every month so that we're providing as much value to our team as possible. Okay, so speaking of that travel knowledge website, so you have Evolution's back office, the Travel Cafe's back office. Our website is more just a place where we can communicate our recordings, like communicate more specific topics in a smaller space for you, and kind of the in-between us trainings of, how to create those business cards or how to manage your time or how to organize things. We do raffles. We definitely highlight that convention is coming up next year and those tickets are on sale. So definitely hop on to that website too to get more direct trainings right there. And I'll kind of walk you through that right here. So when you scroll to the bottom here, it's going to be all of the Platinum's information, their names, what time zone, their phone numbers, so that you can connect with them. Again, sometimes mentors come and go. Sometimes they don't have all of the information. That's going to be a quicker connection to corporate, is through your founders, council members, or your Platinums. When you click on the travel tab, now that's where you're going to get, after new agent orientation, you're going to get some really basic recordings that are going to help just make you understand how this all works. So travel forms and basics, at the very top is going to be some inquiry forms. So someone calls you, they say, hey, I want a quote for, if it's land, so just regular hotels, cruise, so something on a cruise ship. Disney is its own thing, so we have its own inquiry form there. And then there's also a cliff notes to this, how to talk to clients right here, this recording. So you can click on all those. You can watch these. I would say these top 6 right here are going to be your basics. So this booking start to finish, that's going to be everything from getting the inquiries, sending out some initial emails, researching, presenting the quote, getting them booked, everything in between, and then from them coming home and then asking for the referral afterwards and kind of facilitating them afterwards. So that's a great one. This has been updated, so I'm going to probably see if she can put a new one on the website, because it is a little older. It's not truly how we present quotes anymore because the systems have updated. But it's a great one to get the idea of the mindset. You booked your clients. Now what do? You got a travel request. Now what do you do? How do you talk to your clients? And then how do you fill out the credit card authorization and then the commission tracking form so that you get paid for all of the work that you're doing? And then at the bottom, a little bit more time management trainings there. Okay, so on the team website, you're going to find the monthly schedule. So I know this is just a little error here. It says September, but it's October. Right here, this button is going to be a Google Sheet to the entire month. So you can zoom in on a day, or you can scroll through the flyers and say, oh, okay, that one sounds interesting to me. I want to take that class, and then put it on your calendar that way. So there's going to be the full schedule of the full month in a Google Sheet that's live. So if anything gets canceled, we can update it there. And then also the flyers, that's how the 2 ways that we show you how our upcoming trainings are. So you want to look for things like quote help or business hours, new agent orientation. Those flyers are at the top. Most things below that are going to be specialty trainings. There's also a button on there. Let me go back one more screen where it says the trainers YouTube channels. So if you find that you really enjoy the way one of these leaders is training, or the topics that they talk about, like I said, with Krista, with cruises, you can find her YouTube channel right here. And that way you can subscribe to it. You can see more of their content, specifically Royal Caribbean or Norwegian, you can find things there. This is today's daily schedule. So like we were talking about earlier, you're going to see things like new agent orientation, help, Q&A, quote help, office hours. A lot of those you only have to go on if you really want to, or if you want to just ask a couple questions, or you can't get into a vendor, or you have a quote you're working on. Once you've done new agent orientation once, you don't have to go again unless you'd like to actually host it. You can hop on and kind of learn how we do it. But today there was quote help. This is a mock booking or a travel ad with Viator. So Andy was on here doing like how to use Viator, how to create an ad to market Viator. And then Perla right now is doing earned commissions booking flights. And then the green ones are going to be corporate. So all things cruises with Krista at 11. Again, sometimes Archer Travel is on here, or sometimes it's on that separate schedule. There was just a lot going on today. And again, if you can't make it to all, perfectly fine. Just pick what you find to be most interesting, and everything else is mostly recorded. Jessica is doing something on TikTok for beginners. And then again, the green is going to be the corporate, that special needs and disability travel here, team building here, new agent orientation here, and then business hours. So if you have any questions, you can hop on at business hours right here. Presentation. So this is when you have someone who might be interested in the business. Those are the times that our team is on there kind of explaining to people how the business works. And then this is, make sure you're on the team Discord. This is where we actually post that daily schedule under the daily schedule tab. Okay, so just making sure you stay connected. So we have Discord, Facebook groups too, whatever. Some people like a more static, like the website. Some people like the interaction of Facebook. The only problem with Facebook is most things have to get approved. So you might wait an hour or two until an admin pushes it through. So I always prefer Discord for quick questions, quick answers. One of us is going to be able to help you out. Okay. So it used to be continuing education, but honestly, now they put it on the quick start document that Mike Archer sales training is incredibly valuable. So you're going to find that Travel Cafe, hit trainings, find the Mike Archer picture, and then you're going to see all of the trainings here are already recorded, or you can hop on and do the live version. Because with the live version, you can type things into the chat and he can answer these questions live. He also does do Zooms. So when you make it through, I think it's about 7 weeks of training if you want to do that, or you can do the recording and blow through it in about 2.5 hours. He does a quiz, you can be certified, and then you'll be moved into kind of his VIP group where he does live Zooms. And so with the live Zooms, your camera is on, you can talk to him. On Facebook Lives, nobody's camera is on, but you can still talk in the chat. There's something called, now take a screenshot or just jot these things down, Travel Agent University, Travel Agent Academy, and Agent Universe. So these are things that have nothing to do with commission, but they're just education for you. So say you want to learn more about the Bahamas or the US Virgin Islands or destination weddings. Those type of topics, larger topics, you're going to find on websites like this. So it just depends where they house them. But for those, it's really easy to sign up. You just kind of put your information in. You might have to say you're with Archer Travel. Our larger umbrella above Archer Travel is called Travel Leaders Network, and you'll see that in a couple of different places. So if it asks who your consortia is, it is Travel Leaders Network, or TLN. There's also Facebook groups. So say you sell a lot of Riviera Maya or the Dominican. You can just type in like travel agents selling the Dominican, and you can pop into those. And those are really great for times when maybe a hurricane is coming or bad weather is coming. You can kind of have live conversations about it, or just understanding like what's a great hotel that's all inclusive and family friendly in this particular area. You can search Facebook groups. So that's always a great like up-to-date information. Google will always be your best friend. So if you're ever looking for a family friendly all inclusive in the Dominican, you can always Google these things and find some ideas for your clients, and then pull that into our vendors and find pricing for them. So Agent Universe is right here under our suppliers, whereas the other ones, you're just going to Google them, travelagentuniversity.com, travelagentacademy.com, that type of thing, and just get registered that way. And then particularly Agent Universe, you're going to want to go to YouTube and find the Evolution Travel X Archer Media Center, and then type in Agent Universe. I think there's a 7-minute recording just explaining how to get registered and what you can do on Agent Universe. All right. So that was a lot of the beginning there, just understanding Evolution, Archer, and then how your team fills in, and then some extra education after that. So whatever you want to dive into, there's most likely trainings on that. So now I'd like to, before I let you go, really understand travel commissions so that you can know kind of where you want to lead or where you want to get started in this business, right? Because some people, like I've said before, want to come in and just sell Disney or just sell cruises. That's awesome. But some people come in and they're like, I'll sell anything. I'm not leaving any money on the table. That's good, but you want to know how much money is in it, so you don't spin your wheels for maybe 2 days on something and there was no commission built into it. Okay. So understanding those travel commissions. So like I mentioned before, flights decommissioned, airlines decommissioned flights in the 90s. So if you book a flight and it's $1,000, it's $1,000. There's no commission built into it. So where we do find commission to build into it is if you're building it into a package, like a flight and a resort, car rental, excursion. You start to build it all together, and they will be able to get you a little bit of commission on the flights. But flight only, there's no commission. Perla, like I said, is doing a training right now on Centrav. That is a flight consolidator. It's kind of a next level thing, but you want to hop into that training or watch that recording so that you can understand how Centrav works for travel agents. It's a little complicated, but it's worth learning. Car rentals. Now, this is, again, car rentals in general, just like as a just car rental booking. There's probably about 5 to 7% commission built into any car rental on any typical day. So if your client needs a car rental by itself, you can expect about 5 to 7% commission. Now, if you book it through Archer Go, there is 10% commission built in. That might mean the price might be a little bit higher since there's commission, but just check it out on both portals. Check it out maybe if you're looking at, say, Enterprise for travel agents, and then look at it in Archer Go and see how the price compares. Now for hotels, this is going to be more 7 to 11%. Marriott and Hilton are some of the biggest brands. They are going to be more along the lines of 7%. 11% is going to be if you're booking a hotel through one of our consolidators or our wholesalers, and they're going to build that extra commission in, and you're still probably going to get a better price than you would booking direct or booking through third party with this wholesaler that we have called RoomRes. So you'll learn about that. You'll get an invitation to that about 7 days into the business. So RoomRes, ROMRES. So keep an eye out for that email. Now for theme parks, this is more along the lines of Universal Studios, Disney, SeaWorld. You'll see when you get into like your EVO rewards from your new agent orientation and you understand that, you'll see the different types of larger theme parks that do build commission into their pricing. Maybe smaller local theme parks don't typically build in commission, but the bigger ones do. When you get into it a little bit deeper, you see, Disney specifically builds in after 3 days. That's when they start to build in the commission and really incentivize you to help your clients and book these things for them. Resorts. Now for this, I'm aiming more towards all-inclusive resorts. So things that have the food and the drinks and gratuities all included are going to be more along the lines of 14 to 18%. So when you're looking at some of the mock bookings or the travel ads that we do trainings on, a lot of them are going to focus on all-inclusive resorts simply because your clients get down there, everything's already included in that price. And therefore your commission is on top of all of that is factored in on that incredibly large price. Whereas a domestic hotel might be $100 a night and all-inclusive might be $200 per person per night. So it really does get that commission up a little bit higher. Cruises in general are about 16%, but I've seen them go upwards of 20 to 22%. So again, if the cruise itself is 1,000, you would think of at least 16% of that 1,000 is going to be commission. Okay. Now it's here or there with it. And some of them do add commission on things like drink packages, excursions, things like Virgin Voyages. They commission everything in there. So when you go through the trainings, you'll see exactly how it works. And then you would be getting the 80% of that commission dollar. Cruises, the other tip with cruises, they typically pay their commissions out prior to your clients departing, whereas typical resorts pay out after a client has returned home. Luxury resorts and guided tours. So luxury resorts such as like Sandals and Beaches are going to be really luxury. They're 16, 18, 20%. Sometimes they have bonus commissions, like you might get an extra $50, $100 on top of the percentage commission. Guided tours, that's something like, if your client says, I want to go to Italy for 2 weeks or tour all through Europe, and it might be like a guide their particular hotels, they've included meals, transportation, all that's going to be a bigger commission too. So understanding how much commission is built into these things might help you steer towards what is it that I want to learn more about and market to my clients. This is a screenshot from Agent Universe and learning all about, I think the training was called like, being new in the industry, something like that, or new to the travel industry. This is a graph showing the top niches that people decide to focus on when they get in. So the top one is going to be honeymoons, romance, and destination weddings. So that is actually something I personally do. I worked weddings previously before this position, so that was an easy transfer for me, but it did take me about a year to really hone in that was something I was going to feel comfortable booking, because it is a high stress travel market for sure. But the bonus is it's group travel, but also you sometimes get a percentage on the wedding package itself too. So there's bonus money there. The next one is going to be family and multi-generational travel. So again, it's group travel, but maybe it's like something like a reunion. So it's like grandparents, aunts and uncles, parents, kids, grandkids, all in one trip. So that's something that people really do utilize travel advisors for, to pull everybody together to the same resort. And then group travel in general, that could be more everybody's the same age. So it could be like a bachelor, bachelorette party. It could even kind of get into, business travel. So just getting a lot of people to one place. And the reason why these things are top of mind, that they're a lot of money, a lot of income. It's very copy paste. Once you've got your lead traveler and okay, this is where we're headed. This is the resort. These are the dates. And you've got that all narrowed down. Now it's just getting everybody there. Okay. So it's very copy paste at that point. As opposed to, a one-off booking here and there. So you usually start with one-off bookings and then you kind of move into group travel. People start connecting with you to book larger group travel. And that's where the real incentives kick in for them too. Okay. So in closing, I always try and tell people, you're going to sell best something that you're passionate about, something that you really enjoy. So how do you spend your free time? Like, where do you go? Where do you vacation? Do you go to Disney every single year? Some people absolutely do. Do you go on cruises? Do you love all inclusives? Do you do domestic travel? What is it that you understand? And if you had to book a vacation, where would you go? Because when you start searching with that mentality, you're going to find people who gravitate towards you and they're like, they do that too. And you're going to speak best on it. You're going to learn best. I'm never going to tell someone book Disney and they've never been there before. Or they don't have a family and they don't understand the product. We're not going to tell you to book anything. Actually, we're going to let you just decide what it is you want to learn more about, what it is you want to learn how to sell. So focus on that to get started. But then also focus on what type of clients do you want to work with. So with me having 3 children, when I first got into this business, I did focus on family travel because that's something that spoke to me. It made sense to me. I want to travel with my family. I want to help others travel with their family. I did end up switching towards destination weddings and honeymoons because it's a different clientele. It's a different time of your life. And sometimes it's just kind of a much larger budget, right? So it's much more like, oh, it's my honeymoon. It's my one and only time, 10,000, 15,000. It's our destination wedding. And it gets into the tens of thousands. So I did aim more towards that after, I did work with family travel for a little bit. But the interesting thing that I really had to pivot with, and to just always think about this, is when you're changing clientele, whether you want maybe an older generation or luxury travel, all the way down to younger travelers, maybe in their 20s, might not have their passport, might not have ever left the country, you're going to find them on different platforms, right? Between Facebook, maybe a little bit older generation, maybe the even older generation, you might have to do more in-person networking with business cards. They're going to want physical business cards or flyers to figure out how to reach you. They're going to want to do phone calls, not so much Zooms. And then the younger generation. A lot of our travel agents are younger, 18 to 25. They're actually posting on their social media, on their TikToks and their Snapchat and Instagram. So for me, I had to pivot. I'm more of the Facebook generation. I had to pivot towards Instagram for my clientele. So you'll see me dabbling in that. I'm not great at it, but I've committed to consistently posting and reaching out on Instagram so that I can find more brides and that younger generation. So what kind of clients do you want to work with? What kind of topics do you love to learn about? And also, like, where do you find them? Those are some things you really want to focus on when you first get started. So I hope this was helpful to you. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording and then we'll do a little Q&A afterwards. So thank you so much for coming. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful to you. Let me see.